Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So I'm gonna go ahead, again, trying to make a good amount of cash at this point because I'm using this profile to kind of pump up the money in my SpedV account. So I'm gonna go ahead, since I can get 86.48 a mile here, and I'm gonna take this. I'm going to go ahead and take this job. So I'll go ahead and hop out of here. And I'm, well, at least to the front. I think this was where I was picking this up, but we'll verify, obviously, as we head out. Not sure there's going to be a wonderful spot here. So
finding a new route.
Alright. So let's...
You have arrived at your destination.
So yes, it's obviously here. Alright, and it's this GPS one. So we're going to take the job, and we need to be there by Saturday night. Alright, so I can see the spot over there. This is, I have not changed to the icons. I'm just leaving this series as it was. So when we play back to basics here, we're just doing the standard job that we've had, and in the standard settings we've had. The only difference, like I said, is the SpedV piece. All right, and we're gonna see if we can get ourselves back there. Just get ourselves moved over. Alright, and that should hopefully then line us up here. And we're gonna have to find somewhere to sleep, but that's okay. I should be able to make the 398 in the next X number, in the next shift, so that should work okay. Come on. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna stop the engine and load the cargo. Obviously, it's even later. Alright, so let's figure this out. So yeah, looks like we can stop at the truck stop in town, which is what I figured we'd have, but wasn't entirely sure. So I think if I go down this way, we'll be able to head out. Yep, there's the... So there is some benefits to the big floaty icon, because it kind of gives you a way to get your bearings and know, hey, we've got to go this way. Tractors in there, some big tires, all kinds of fun. Alright. I know. And again, it's been another 45 minutes as I sat here and loaded up the truck, so...
Get ready to turn left.
Okay. Let's say the only problem would be if I didn't need to turn left, but since I'm kind of going where I've been, and so yeah, at this point, like, we've done a good amount of Iowa out here, so I'm okay with not hanging around in the state. So yeah, we'll just take the jobs we need to. So we do have I'm thinking Louisiana and Nordic Horizons are on the verge. Also, 1.57 is going to be coming, which in this series will be okay. But in the others, it won't be, so I'm not sure if I want to just keep back in 1.56, because otherwise I'm like changing the version I'm using each time I play, which is kind of annoying. So I may not. There's nothing in 1.57 that really is jumping out as like, ooh, I really would like to have or something.
Go straight.
So I'm a little tempted to just, yeah, fine, we'll get Louisiana for, you know, and the problem is, yes, I think I'll have to keep dropping Louisiana from the Extreme Edition, but, alright. I think we go through here. Oh boy. Alright. Because, yeah, it would have been kind of tricky there, but the stop is up here, so. And then, obviously, we need to go back.
Go straight.
Alright, nobody's coming. Do I need fuel? No. Because I did that in one setup and then suddenly had all kinds of issues because I had forgotten, and suddenly I'm driving down the road and I had a problem. So for those who might be interested in, you know, is there any more Dalton Highway stuff coming? I am trying to get through the entire route. I think I talked about that at one point. So I'm working on it, but it takes a while, so I don't know how long that may still take. Let's rest. Alright. Alright, well, hopefully we don't have a problem here, because I went to sleep and then the game crashed to desktop. So this is where it reset me. We're coming up on the rest stop again. Alright, well, it crashed a second time. I got rid of the sped V, and it worked fine. I also, every time I came in here, this truck stop was empty. So I think in general there was some problem. So I guess we're not going to use sped V to, or use this profile to help with sped V. So if I want to make any progress on cleaning that up, I'm just going to have to do that on my own. Which is kind of what I was potentially thinking I would need to do initially anyway. So that's not the end of the world. Whoops, not the end of the world. Come on. Alright, but so now we're truly on back to basics. So we have nothing different, but yeah, I'm not going to keep trying to put it in, but there's some problem, obviously. I don't know if it's with sleeping or like it just doesn't know, like it has to know certain rest areas. I don't know. Because yeah, obviously that truck stop is full of trucks now, which was not the case otherwise, so that was interesting. But either way, this will be, you know, a good hunk of cash. That's always a good thing. It's never a bad one. Alright, so contrary to my... I always like to tinker. So, I've actually gone ahead and stopped, exited to the title screen, put sped V in again, but have done so and put it way at the bottom. It's just the only thing after it is sound. Because I'm also wondering if somehow it was doing something to the traffic mod, and I don't know. But right now it's monitoring again. Like, obviously, if it continues to crash, but you know, because I'd like to obviously understand how the thing works. And yes, if there's a problem with resting, like, that would be a problem. So that's good to know as well. But we've got a long way to go. It's interesting that in the Truckee interface, it's not showing that we have a job. Obviously, we have a job. We have tractors on our trailer, but in any event. So I'm assuming there's a good amount of hauling on interstate, so that would be kind of the normal thing. But yeah, as I was starting to say before I picked up the job, it looks like there's a lot coming. They've also introduced, I don't remember if I had talked about this in the last episode of this, British Columbia has been mentioned as something now in the works. So they are expanding outside the United States. My feeling, and I think a good portion of the community too, is they're trying to find a path to Alaska is kind of the initial thing, but obviously there's no problem with also, hey, make it bigger, and kind of like European Truck Simulator, it just gives you more options. I mean, maybe Mexico will come in the future as well. Like, that would all be pretty neat. Now, it kind of just popping in my head right now, but I guess it's always been there, but it's never been a concern because we're just on the versions we're on. And again, ETS 2 I think is from 2012. ATS is from 2016. So there's been arguments by people all the time like, oh, they need a new game version. They need a new game version. That would be challenging from the standpoint of all the DLC. I mean, unless they found a way to make the DLC that we all paid for just move over there. But, that's significantly different than the problem we have in Farming Simulator, where, like, all the mods break and you get stuff. But, so I hope there's nothing like that, even in the thoughts of SCS, because at this point, like, they're showing they can just keep expanding, and there's really no limit to what they can do. And as I've always said, I don't find any issue or feel this is dated, this looks dated or anything. I think what we're driving on is terrific, and I'm not looking for a change. I mean, I was kind of hesitating a little bit, like, well, maybe in the future. No. I don't know. There's nothing that I feel is like, oh, I just wish this looked better. I mean, I know it's a simulator. I know it's not, photorealistic, whatever. I don't need it to be photorealistic because that puts all kinds of insane demands on the system then, and I think that's one of the things that is great with this, is it also makes it possible.
Keep left.
Whoop. I was not expecting that. I'm going to slow down here because we're clearly... Oh yeah, we're definitely clearly going to have some slow stuff here. Alright, there we go. Again, I don't have all the air brakes and all that I do in Extreme Edition. I'm not running any different settings in here than I have been. Okay, well, the good news is the arrow on Sped V, because I was worried because I had taken off from the rest area, gotten on the highway, and I thought there'd be some kind of continuity thing that it would realize and be like, ooh, you've screwed this up. I'm sure it's saying keep right because of that exit to the left there. Alright, so we've gone this way before, it looks like. Let's make sure we're good. But yeah, just as a reminder, because you know it has been a little influx the last few weeks, so I'm still working on the ATS Extreme Edition, but there was no reason versus ETS 2 where I had to stop the other series because a key mod that I needed for it is no longer working with the bank loans. There was nothing that broke this. The whole point of this series was it's just using stock SCS stuff other than, you know, traffic mods and light, you know, extended light timing and stuff like that, putting in real companies, so it's more like visual enhancements. And, you know, given the conversation we just had, no, not making anything look more appealing or whatever, but just giving us traffic and companies that people would be familiar with in real life if they're familiar with this, you know, with trucking or anything. So, and the whole point of it was, okay, we don't care what happens with mods or versions or whatever, but now we will have a little bit of that issue of, like I said, the version number. Yeah, so we want to be careful here. But there will be then three, or there should be three alls after this, but they'll be in the Extreme Edition
Keep right, and then exit right.
series. So, because that's the one that needs the amounts, but obviously that will
Exit right.
mean we've kind of got one less load going on each week than we do in Euro Truck, but that's okay.
Turn right.
I certainly enjoy, you know, just moving this series along and just, you know, having something that we can play, and more importantly, like, I'll be able to look at the states earlier, you know, because in Euro Truck we had the blockage all the time, even with the old series, because I was using Pro Mods, because that is such a wonderful enhancement, even in the original Real Economy Trucking series over in ETS 2. So I was always waiting for the updates anyway, so there's really technically no difference there, but, you know, this way here we'll also be able to continue with, hey, when Louisiana does come out, I can get it and you'll see it, you know, relatively quickly. Obviously I have to get there, but that's also part of why it's like, well, heading south out of Iowa, probably not a bad idea. Let's get ourselves closer to Louisiana so that when things do become available, which I'm thinking will be in the next, I'm thinking we're less than a month away, if that was going to be my guess. We've had the gameplay video for a while. It wouldn't surprise me if it kind of coincided. Hey. Oh, he's turning. All right. I'm like, do not make it difficult for me to turn. But see, like H&M, America's Mattress. There was another store there that I would have said Albertsons, the grocery chain. So we see that. So that's what the real companies and gas stations and all that does. So. And again, if somehow that stopped, like, that's easy enough. We just drop it out and we're back to default ones, which is not as much fun, but it would allow us to continue without any delay, waiting for something to be fixed. Alright, let's slow on down here.
Go straight.
Whoa, I did not realize, because there's no light here. Why are we all stopped? The light's green up there. Oh, maybe it's not. It's just the left turn. So the light will be getting green. There we go. Seriously? Oh, come on. I am not playing this game. You guys all want to go. I am not sitting here. So yes, I will shoehorn my way in here. Sometimes the traffic is just ridiculous.
Right.
What it
And
does.
then go straight.
So yeah, everybody turned and then needs to turn left up there. So that's ridiculous. So we've blocked the entire roadway, but whatever. Come on. So here we can see we've looked at this viewpoint before. Right.
Go straight.
And at least, yes, everybody's clear, and now all these other cars, I'm sure, will go and get over in the left lane. Yeah, there you go. He wants to go that way, so he'll be doing that shortly. And they can all clear themselves out back there, but again, you can see it's just a giant line of cars going to the left. I don't understand how they all spawn that way, but they did.
Keep right. And then go straight.
Yep. Don't have much of a choice. Pretty old school vehicles there. But yeah, I did, you know, with the ETS stuff over this last weekend, I did at one point sit down, run 3 loads, one right after the other, so that gets me things going. But today, because again, I'm trying to do some stuff with PGA Tour, because TGC is available, it needs to be there for the morning. You know, there's just a lot going on that in other things that I'm just doing this run, and it's late, but it will be here on the day it should be. It's just not in the 7 a.m. slot that it would have been, because today's a truck sim day per the schedule that I've had on the channel for a while. That this was just kind of the normal every 4th day contribution to the channel was another haul in truck sim. Now we have stuff all the time, but on the days that weren't normally truck sim days, they show up at 3 p.m. Eastern, because that's just the kind of the overflow slot I've decided to put in there, so that way we get you know, whatever it is, 8 hours, I guess, of exposure for the 7 a.m. time slot, and then the 3 p.m. time slot comes in, and so I'm thinking for the algorithm that gives it enough space, because otherwise if I lump things together, I think what ends up happening is those videos that are only there for an hour or two just only get promoted for that hour or two as people are browsing, and then they kind of get lost. So I'm trying to at least give things a little bit more, but that is a good reason. I'll go ahead and make the request now. If you have not already, please consider liking and subscribing, especially the subscription. You know, the liking helps with the YouTube algorithm to get it in front of more people, which will help grow the channel, but the subscription makes it easier for you to see things. So if I have 3 or 4 videos in a day, even though the algorithm may not throw them up for you, you can always look in the channel and see what got published, regardless, and then watch what is of interest to you. And that way, you know, if things show up off times, because to some degree, you know, the golf series seems to work well for folks where it's at, you know, and I picked that 5 a.m. slot simply because, hey, people who golf, I know when I did go try to golf a little bit here and there, I would always take the earliest tee time I could, and several courses will get you out there at 5 a.m. So that was my reasoning for that slot, and that way it kept the normal 7 a.m. slot, which is kind of what I've always done for my time for publishing content for the channel, before the golf thing was in there. But that leaves a little bit of, it lets me keep doing that. But even with that, like, the golf videos may get less views because, again, we've got just a couple hours between them. But the subscription would help you see that, hey, both of these came out. So there's a benefit to you, and there's no real downside. It's not going to ping you. I mean, because you can still decide if you want to turn the notification bell on, which is obviously a great idea too if you want to make sure you are aware that things are coming out, because I think those notifications will stack up and you'll see something came out here, 2 hours later something came out, 10 minutes later something else came out, so. But, at a minimum, I'm just asking folks to like and subscribe, because those are important to a small channel like myself, and I am very thankful for folks who do that. And obviously join us over at the Discord too. That community is growing a little bit again. Not a whole lot of chatter, but I think we've been hanging around pretty solidly, over 100 folks that are part of the Discord community, and every once in a while someone will say something, but I enjoy responding to the comments, hearing what you guys have to say, whether it's on Discord or on the videos. But Discord allows a little bit longer discussion, and sometimes it's easier for people to find things over there as well. Old Xfinity van. Alright, so we still... I see. It's got the same problem I have on some of them, is that I guess it's just going down to the next line, because I saw something pop over to the right for a bit, but now it's vanished, so...
Keep left.
Okay, so does that mean we're going to turn left? I don't know. I guess it's a traffic circle, but...
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Alright, well, this is first. This
Exit
is
now.
second. So there we go. But yeah, we're heading out a slightly different direction. So now we've got a little over 100 miles of extra, hopefully new roads. What's he got there? Steamroller is what I would call it, but I don't think we call them that anymore. But that's what I always knew them as growing up, and that's kind of what I refer to them, because I think they put water in there, and then I don't think it's actually steaming. I think it just turns into, it's usually running over some like hot tar, and it is just a big metal thing filled with water, and I think the heat transfers through the metal and heats the water up, and eventually, if you're doing it for long enough, it boils things up and a little bit of steam escapes here and there. So I think that's why they were called steamrollers, but I don't know. And at this point, maybe they use something else for weight in those cylinders, and maybe that's why they're not called that. But I don't remember what the new name is. It's not like Flatner or whatever. So, alright, we're out of Iowa now. We're in Missouri. Passing a Missouri State Trooper there right at the line. Assuming he's turning around or something.
Keep right. And then go straight.
Oops. So let's
Go straight.
shrink this down to 60. Alright, well, this guy's not going very quick. Do we have a stop sign here? No, we're yellow. Come on. You're not crawling out of there. Alright, Columbia is where we're headed. I didn't see the
Go
distance, but we're still around 100 miles. So I'm guessing, although again, maybe we're going to get on this roadway here. No, that's Kirksville. Oh, wow.
Keep left.
I would not have expected that we would get credit for passing that, so that's interesting. I thought for sure it'd be get off the roadway, go to town, you know, deliver there if you want to get credit. But got a few things coming up the ramp in their cars. They should accelerate faster than me. They should be able to keep moving. Yeah, I've got to make a few other phone calls. It just reminded me, because yeah, we had a little bit of an unexpected shift in real life where we've changed. Was gonna use the word upgraded, but I'm less. It was more to help my wife, but we moved from a car to kind of a, I don't know if it would be considered a crossover, but it's a Subaru Outback is what we ended up picking up. A used vehicle. We try to not fall into the new car, immediately depreciate space, but it's pretty new. It's barely had over 10,000 miles on it, and so hopefully it'll be. I had my old car for 12 years, 13 years or so, I'm fine with hanging on to things, but so yeah, just kind of reminded me, oh yeah, I need to call and update my insurance agent with that. But so yet another reason why it's challenging to, you know, real life things that you got to worry about, like making sure that you're not liable if something unfortunate happens. I mean, you're liable, but your insurance protects you. How about that? But knock on wood, I'm pretty good usually. It's been, I don't know, couldn't even tell you last time. I mean, if I get a ticket, it's a speeding ticket. I usually am not getting kind of dangerous driving tickets where it's like, you know, you went through a stop sign or you ran a red light or failed to yield or something like that. It's usually, if I get something, it's speeding, but even that luckily has been years. So
Keep left.
Macon, huh? Keep left. All right. So yeah, once I'm done with this, maybe I'll, because I don't do a whole lot of editing, but given the fact that this thing crashed a few times, I'm definitely going to have to cut some pieces out in the middle. Keep right. Okay. Interesting. I really thought it was going to move me over, have me go on that roadway. Okay, well, I can't go to the right, but sure, I'll keep right. But yeah, in our new location here in Tennessee, there was a little bit of a potential threat of snow, and you know, which is less likely down here and more disruptive than when we were up north. But I think if it was coming, it was going to happen in the mountains a little south of us, just at the higher elevations. But if it did, I can't see anything this morning. But there's also still a good amount of tree cover, so I'm not sure. And until, you know, if and until there was enough that was really sitting on the ground, I'm not sure that the mountains would appear white anyway. But because obviously you still have the trees. Yes, they don't have leaves, but you have the trees there still.
Go straight.
And so obviously their darkness would probably be more, would still be prevalent, and maybe it would just be little pinpoints of white. So I don't know that if it does happen and they get a good amount, if we'd ever know, other than someone telling us, like the weatherman. Alright, 30. What's our speed? It must be, okay, 45, I guess. Well, there's the Missouri billboard. But we got that one already. We're in it.
Go straight.
Alright, so Columbia, 43 miles. So we're not going to go as far because it's just telling me 27. If everything was together a little better, you'd be able to see it. But I wonder if I can change what appears in that banner or something. Or the spacing it has. Probably not, but it's just now happening on multiple series, and you're just getting less information off of that status bar than you would normally. So, a truck, as always, having a bit of a challenge getting up to speed, but we can see our delivery point, so we'll get up to speed just in time to slow down again. The nature of the beast. I thought it was like Hellsville, and maybe it is, but... am I gonna have to be in the right?
Right.
Yep.
And then exit
Okay.
right.
I don't know why I was thinking this wasn't
Exit
basically
right.
a highway. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to turn left because I can see my delivery points to the left, but no.
Turn left.
Alright, so we've discovered Columbia. Yes, you can see we're gonna need to be over to the left. Very bright yellow. Alright. So, in this location here,
Keep left. And
it's
then
Tyson
turn
Foods. Oh yeah, that is the Tyson logo. It didn't look like it, but now I see
Turn
it.
left.
So they're stopped there. I didn't know that was really the case. Now can I get over?
You have arrived at your destination.
Because it's on this side, but can I pull? No, I can't pull in there. So, right. Shouldn't be anybody behind me, so, because now we're not on the roadway. We pulled far enough in. Oh, I was in neutral, not forward gear, so. Right. Several harvesters here. Alright. So, not sure the best way. Man, that is old school. Is that like a root crop? I would think that's like a root crop harvester of some sort. Alright, I want to go the other way. I'm wrong. I cannot believe that. I'm really thinking it out in my head. I have it right. I didn't. Alright, so again, we're gonna need to get out, peek. Alright, so I think we're okay. Just need to kind of start heading. And again, I might need to turn the other way. I don't know. Well, we'll see what we can do. I'm not sure that I can get enough, if I can straighten out enough here, or if I'll catch the corner of the building. We're gonna try, but we're gonna go gently in case we... No, I guess we hit the building, but we did it gently. Alright, so I'm gonna head over this way. And then we'll pull into the grass a little bit. Hopefully it'll give us some room. Alright. And then... Am I going the right way? I am. Okay. But at least now it's not blind. But I'm not sure this is any better. I might really have to push myself much more than I did. Goodness gracious, really? Alright. So, bit of a challenge for sure. We're basically trying to swing enough that we are able to get in that doorway, and clearly we're in the doorway. It's just, we are actually in the right spot. I am amazed, frankly. I don't know that I could repeat that. That was done nicely, other than the little bump that we had. But, and again, it's our trailer, so it's our own problem. Alright, let's deliver. Alright, 34,000. And there we are. Relatively long little run here. But hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you next time.